We have some breaking news to share with you out of New York, where the state attorney general moments ago has announced plans to sue the White House over the change in something called the public charge rule as it relates to immigration. Watch.
We are here today because, as the Attorney General of the great state of New York, today we are filing a lawsuit to prevent the new interpretation of the public charge rule from taking effect.
Let me bring in now NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams. Pete, explain what this means. New York is not the only state moving forward with a lawsuit here on this rule, right?
Well, right. The Attorney General says Connecticut and Vermont are also joining New York on this particular suit, and there may be other states filing lawsuits of their own. The public charge rule has actually been on the books for well over 100 years, and it says that people can be denied lawful status to stay here if they would be a public charge. That is to say, if they would be, as the original proponents of this said, a drain on financial resources. They would require public support. The Trump administration has reinterpreted this rule to say that if someone comes to the U.S. and seeks to have a green card, that is to be a lawful permanent resident, they could be denied that status if they have sought such public benefits as food stamps or Medicaid or Section 8 housing vouchers. And what the states are saying is that this goes well beyond what the law and the Constitution actually allow the government to do. The roots of the public charge rule are not that savory. They came at a time when the government was trying to discourage Chinese immigration. And the rule has basically been administered and enforced in a very narrow way ever since. And now the Trump administration is trying to expand it. The Trump administration argues that this is perfectly consistent with what the law allows the government to do.
Pete Williams live for us there here in Washington. Pete, thank you for that explanation. We have reached out to the White House for any kind of response to the suit. It just happened about 14 minutes ago, so nothing yet, but we will keep you posted if and when we hear anything. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.